Hello. Howdy and hello from SoCal, sunny SoCal day. How are you? Thanks for playing, if anyone's playing. I'm thrilled today because I think it's time for some shites and giggles, and I am very grateful that my lovely friend Aaron Moriarity of Truth Quest has agreed to come on and play. Without further ado, because I want to introduce him when he's on here and give him so much gratitude and love for what he has done for me. So, ladies and gentlemen, entering stage left, Mr. Aaron Moriarity.
Hello, Heidi.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am awesome. I am great. I'm doing better. I had a rough start, but I'm doing better.
Really?
I was feisty this morning. That's why I knew it was time to laugh then. But hello to Door County, Wisconsin, one of our many similarities. You are live with us from Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. You're pretty much right down the street from my sister and my mom.
That's cool. Yeah, I still have to figure out where they are, but
they'll stalk you. They'll find you. Well, I'm happy you came out. And the introduction with you is I'm gonna add it on this when we're up. But Aaron invited me onto his show, Truth Quest. We shot beginning of February, and I had so much fun. It's the first time I really got to disclose some of my UFO experience or stories and things. And I just find you to be one of the hubs for those kind of stories and tell-alls and things. So I'm super grateful to have been on there, and I'm thanking you for being here today.
Well, you're very, very welcome. It was my honor completely to have you on my show. I think you are a ray of sunshine and happiness that the world needs to see more of. So hip, hip, hooray for more shows from Heidi.
Thanks, Aaron. Well, even with UFOs, we have numerous similarities. I think one of the strongest ones being entertainment, because, and you've been, I know you were Elvis forever, but you've also done sketch comedy. You've had cable access. You've had all those things, but your upbringing was in Minnesota, wasn't it?
Yep. I was born in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
I enjoyed that for 6 whole months, and then we moved back to Minnesota.
Cool. And you were in Prince's territory, weren't you?
Yeah, I certainly was, and I got to meet the gentleman a number of times, and he was always very nice and gracious, and very nice guy, and yeah.
That's good to hear. That's nice. Is in Minnesota, is that where you started kind of like the sketch comedy stuff? And you had a cable access there as well.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. In Channel 20 in Mound, Minnesota. It's named Mound from all of the burial mounds there.
Oh.
And we used to find arrowheads in our front yard. And
oh, wow.
It's also the birthplace of Tonka Toys, because Tonka Toys in 1947 started as Mound Metalworks. Then the next year they changed it to Tonka Toys because it's by Lake Minnetonka.
Oh, no way.
That's where
Tonka.
Yeah, Tonka means great. Minnie means water, so great water, or water great.
That's very cool.
That lake was discovered by 2 Indian boys in a canoe, and it became their, sacred burial area. And we lived in the highlands, and we were on top of a big hill, and like every time it rained, it's like, there were so many of them, you didn't even want to pick them up. I never picked one up.
Really? The arrowheads?
It was like, you'd be all there all day and still never, so I just never did. I wish I would have. I was looking for fossils. Who just cares about this man-made stuff? I want fossils.
Where's Bigfoot?
Door County has tons of fossils.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
Hot spots, fossils. They have a pretty rich history that they're trying to suppress, right? They don't want to bring all that traffic up there of people hunting for fossils and things. There's a lot of tourists, but they really don't disclose a lot of the rich history of the multiverse up there. It seems to me. You're the one who lives there. What do you think on that? I'm jumping all around, aren't I?
Well,
You're the professional. I'm nervous.
well, there's lots of lighthouses up here, more than any other county, 11.
Mhm.
But I don't know why they call them lighthouses, because as you know, they're very heavy.
Oh, it's cracking open. The crown chakra.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. I totally forgot to tell you. You can take off your mask, You don't need a mask for this show.
Well, thank you very much, but I'm going to keep my Invisimask on. Thank you very much.
All right. To each his own.
Yeah.
It is America.
Yeah.
I am going to add that link, though. You have a great commercial on your lovely product, the Invisimask, that's worked for you for grocery shopping and everything.
Everything.
It worked.
It even worked when I went to go and vote in person.
Really?
I was wearing my Invisimask. Yeah, and I filmed walking out of it with no mask on. There was one other woman there with no mask.
Oh, cool.
And I remember when I went up to the machine with the ballot, I said, "Is this the shredder I put it into?" Because I pretty much think that's probably what it was. Looking at the whole deal, probably was a shredder.
Probably. And then they move all those shreds over to light the fires for the fish boils. They get rid of the evidence.
What is that fish boil? I don't know. I tried one once, and I really tried. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Something about boiled fish and potatoes. I don't know.
It sounds like prison food.
Well, you know why they do it.
Why?
It's
community.
Tradition. It's tradition because, and not because it was a great thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All these sailors came up there, and they had to feed all these sailors. So they got a bunch of fish and a bunch of potatoes and carrots and put them in a thing and lit it up, and they could feed all these sailors.
It's smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad loved them. Fun fact for any peeps. Hi, Deborah. Fun fact: my dad's from Sturgeon Bay, where Aaron resides now. Yeah. And he loved his fish boils. I didn't get
it. They got fish tacos too. I mean, everywhere. I can't imagine that. I just don't know. I
love fish. That's a hot thing out here.
Yeah, mm-hmm. See, it's the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm not into some big things.
Well, speaking of big things, I think it's fascinating with all the nostalgic toys you've worked on. Each conversation we've had, you brought up something different, like Stretch Armstrong, Care Bears. Is there any fun toy memories that you can share or disclose? Because you worked for two separate companies, right?
Right.
Forgive me if I'm mixing it all up.
That's okay. Mm-hmm. And I didn't ever work on our Stretch Armstrong, but I worked with a fella who did. And that's a story. Mm-hmm. And I didn't do anything with Care Bears. However, I did draw that Care Bear for our episode.
Yeah, that was sweet. Thank you.
Turned you into a Care Bear for that, because that's pretty much what you are. You're like a walking, talking, hair spreading Care Bear.
In high school, I had a nickname Poppin' Fresh because I was a little jolly. So they go, hee, and push my belly, and I'd be like, hee. I didn't have boundaries at that time.
So, no, was your last name Pop back then too?
Yeah, Pop was my dad's name. I'm sure somebody came over on a boat and they shortened something somewhere down the line, but the Hammerston Road in Door County is named after our family lineage as well. That's his maternal side. And then the Pops. Yeah, German Swedish. So
that's cool. I really like that name. It's
thank you. It's my first marriage. It was a bit of a thing because I wouldn't change my name. I know. We were married not very long, like less than a year, but I did get a gas card with his name hyphenated to be like, look what I did. It didn't work.
I can't imagine, growing up with an identity and then, having to sign that identity away. That's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
It is.
Unless they're running or hiding from something. Can you talk about and tell me if I'm jumping around again? Because maybe I'm just too caffeinated, even though I had 1 cup of coffee. Your cable access show, the one in Door County. Now now I'm jumping too far all over the place, but
Okay.
maybe you could talk a little how you led up to it. But I think it's utterly fascinating that you were nearly run out of town for it.
No, not running out of town. I was
Run down the street.
put in jail, for life, and then throw away the key. That was what was threatened to me by the chief of police at the top of his lungs.
And can you disclose what the show was? Can you why you were threatened?
It was called the UFO show. It was called the UFO show, and it was on cable access. And when I first moved out here, I was doing all that stuff. If you go onto my page, Truth Quest with Aaron Moriarity, you go scroll way down, go way back into history, and you'll find some of my little sketches and my little fake commercials I made as part of working on that cable access, as well as the Space Cadets further up.
That's so cool.
Space Cadets was fun. So we were doing a lot of kind of stuff like that. But we did a show called Extreme Television, Minnesota's only music video showcase, and where we went to record companies and we got videos from local Minnesota groups, and then we put them together with a VJ in the studio, and we just used the guy who worked at the cable place. He's still a good friend of mine on Facebook, Matt Kalina. I think he lives down south somewhere, where the mountains are or something like that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we had like Soul Asylum and Run Westy Run and Zuzu's Pedals. They were pretty cool. And that way I moved up to Door County, and I wanted to continue doing cable access because I did commercial break, fake commercials.
So good.
Extreme Television, Minnesota's only music video showcase, and Space Cadets. So I had 3 different shows, all of them which won awards. And so I came here and there was no cable access. In fact, there was a little tiny movement to get cable access going here because there was a lot of money in the kitty. They built up, I think, a couple $100,000.
Whoa. And this was the 90s, by the way, right? This was the
early 90s.
Early 90s.
And the chairman of our little group and the other guy, kind of the 2 lead guys, both had their own video production companies. And they were salivating, trying to figure out how they're going to get that $200,000. And it was ridiculous. Now in Mound, where I did my original cable access, it was 1 channel, and they did the government, the library, and cable access all in one. Now here in Door County, someone negotiated this. There's a separate channel for the government. There's a separate channel for the library, and there's another channel for cable access. I mean, how did they wrangle that? I mean, why would you need that? I mean, there's not that many people here, right?
No, we only had like 3 channels in our house. I don't know how that worked.
But yeah, my show only aired 3 times. It was a live call-in show called the UFO show, and people didn't want to come on the show live. They didn't want to show their face, but they would call anonymously and talk about their experiences, because there's a lot of them up here. Especially back in the 50s, there was a giant UFO seen over, it was seen by someone in Fish Creek, and he called up the Advocate in Sturge here. Was at 30, 40 miles or something. And the guy at the Advocate, he goes, well, let me look. He looks outside. Whoa, there it is. And so they're both looking at it at the same time.
It's huge.
So, yeah. And so, I guess the rumor is a police cruiser or a sheriff's car drove underneath it, and it was just very large, very luminous, just very, not luminous, but ominous, big thing there. Pretty high up. But but people were afraid they'd lose their job if they talk about it. They didn't want to be identified. Then after our 3rd show, we actually taped part of the channel 13 board meeting, which I used to be a member of the board, but I quit out of disgust because they never did anything. All they did was try to figure out how to get that money. And boy, wouldn't you know, next time I knew it, both of those guys had new equipment, and they kicked all the good shows off. They kicked my show off. They called the cops on me, and it was just like a nightmare. I mean, why would you? There's rules to cable access, right? Very basic rules, which should be the rules for all platforms like that. You know, no nudity. You can't ask for money, and I think no swearing. So those are two.
Ooh, I wouldn't do well. Well, what was it there? What was their knock on their door about? Like, hey, you can't talk about UFO stuff, or what were they so mad about?
That was a phone call. I came after the police were called when I went to drop off the 4th episode, which never aired, where we actually filmed the public meeting of Channel 13, where they refused to talk to us. They refused to take questions from the audience, which they're supposed to do from the public, because they shut it down. They fired the guy who was finally brought cable access to Door County, and you know, I had people were coming up from Green Bay to watch the show weekly. So, yeah. So I went to the gentleman's house to bring the videotape. And I don't know if you know the guy, but he collects old cars. That might give you a clue. And he's into video.
Okay.
But I get there just to drop off the videotape, because that's where you're supposed to drop the video. At this point, I didn't know that I was being banned. And he calls the cops on me. The cops come and say, "What seems to be the problem here?" I said, "I don't know, officer. I just came to drop off this videotape." And he calls the cops on me. And he goes, "Oh, I just wanted you here just in case something happened." What's going to happen?
You were going to beam him up?
Slap him with a videotape? No, I would never do that.
No. VHS tapes hurt.
Yeah. So I don't know what that was all about. But then I got, I don't know if it was a day or two later, I got a call from the chief of police, which was a block and a half away. I was 808 Pennsylvania was my address, 808 Pennsylvania. That's halfway to the White House, 1600 to the White House.
Nice.
And I got this call at 5, little after 5, and he's screaming at me. "Listen, Moriarty, you stop that show of yours or I'm going to throw you in jail, throw away the key, and no one will ever know where you are." It's like he was yelling. I mean, I'm being very soft compared to what he was. It was that I'm like going, "Whoa, excuse me, officer, don't you officer me."
Whoa.
And he just laid into me. I'm like going, "Holy crap moly." And he hung up on me, and I hung up, and I went, "Holy crap, I'm not going to sleep for days." And I didn't.
Jeez.
They could do that. They could do that in that town. They kind of write their own rules, and they kind of watch each other. Everybody's like related. And
very much so. Yeah, the public access, my butt. It's like, no, public access with strong rules and boundaries, and it really, that's unfortunate. How did you end up in jail then for it? I
didn't end up in jail for it. He was threatening that. He was threatening it. Okay. Now I did spend a night in the facilities there at the jail in Sturgeon Bay. That was for a separate issue. That was because I was sitting quietly on my couch. I got arrested for that, basically.
How dare you?
Because my now ex-wife was friends with this woman whose husband was a cop.
Oh, geez. So you have more friends and family. They're running the show.
There's something in the water up here. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we were up there, the 90s. We had our home at the time. I was a fib.
Oh, friendly Illinois brother. Friendly Illinois brother.
Yes.
Did you see
That's a
that?
very nice way of saying it. But we
Yeah.
pay taxes. And I knew I would find the little crystal shops, or, I would try to find, my mom and I were experiencers. And, but then when you were telling your story, I'm like, that makes sense, because the thing that we always found enchanting about Door County, and all the tourists flock to it, it's because it's quaint and small and not a lot of mainstream traffic and no McDonald's. Well, there's one in Sturgeon Bay.
Right.
So I'm like, they just probably don't want that traffic of, the UFO community coming in, like trying to have their experiences or something. But geez, it's just a little rough. You had 3 episodes. Did anything gnarly happen in those episodes? Like,
we had people calling in. I mean, think about this. It's a cable access show. We had people calling in.
Yeah.
A live cable access show. And John was the guy who was, what was his last name? He was the guy that invented something. What was it? Something on the internet that's used all the time. He made him a multimillionaire. And he was just working there, He was a cool guy. Somewhere I have him. I went there to film something. He was working there for nothing because he wanted to make it happen. I'm glad that he did. I didn't have anyone show up to be interviewed because everyone was too afraid to talk. So, so he decided, well, let's just do a mock one. I'll pretend like I'm someone. So he put some Scotch tape with some marker on it to look like a mustache. It was very funny.
That's so cool.
Maybe I should dig that up and
well, I think that whole experience you had with that, I guess that's what we would call over target, because he must have been doing something right for this sweet little cable access to be shut down. That's a bummer. What do you think if it would happen now? Do you think it's more mainstream now? Do you think you wouldn't, or you think the restrictions in town are still, they're going to shoot down the messenger?
Well, yeah, that's really an interesting question, because at the time that I was doing it, there were a lot of shows on television and cable already, like, Unsolved Secrets and various different paranormal, were like some of the most popular stuff around. So
X-Files.
Yeah, it's not like that stuff wasn't being done.
Right.
So that's what kind of shocked me.
Wow.
And
because it wasn't Hollywood. These are real peoples and real people encounters.
Yeah.
And maybe the sheriff was cloaked.
Maybe.
Well, can we see some hot spots? I'm going to come out and visit my sister and everybody, hopefully fall, and then we can maybe we can meet in person.
Yeah.
And we can be live on the street.
There's lots of places. You probably know more places than I do. I don't get out much.
North of the bridge there. Are you south of the bridge? Are you south side, Sturgeon?
I am on the south side. I'm by the White Birch Inn.
Best brunch ever. Yeah, my sister's over there. Yeah, I did know the loop of the peninsula of Door County pretty well, but man, I just thought, what the coolest thing ever, UFO hotspot. And then you're like, ooh, no, it's not. It's not that anyone's scared of it. They're just like protecting this bubble of truth. I don't know.
You know what's funny? They have shipyards, as you know. I think they're down to 1. They had 3 at one point. Maybe they're down to 2 or 1.5 or something. But I remember I read in the Pulse. The Peninsula Pulse is the coolest newspaper up here to read. Usually, they got all this stuff happening, and it's an independent paper still. So and it's been taken over by Gannett, but the Pulse is still cool.
Okay.
And I read in there years ago that one of the shipbuilding places was going to start building the Starship Enterprise full size.
What?
And because at the time there was some presidential decree that we're going to start working on it, and by the time we get it built, we'll have the engines figured out. And I was getting all excited. Yes, this is going to be so cool. And it's like, then I realized it's the Repulse. This is the April 1st issue.
That
wasn't true. But
Oh,
boy, that would have been cool, huh?
yeah. It's nice that you immediately went to, yeah, that's going to happen. Like, this is
Yeah,
possible.
it seems plausible. I mean, you got the building companies there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
boy,
I
that
Mhm.
would look cool sitting in the bay there. Just
Totally. Totally. They could make some little money. That's a good thing there.
yeah.
My mom was saying too that a lot of the old timers and the old families that are up there, everybody has a UFO story. Like
Mhm.
there's like passed down in the families and everything. A lot of people that they still talk about that one in 57 you were talking about, or in the 50s. So that's kind of cool. Well, maybe we'll have to do a sketch of that.
51 or 52. And when you come here, I'm going to give you one or maybe more of these.
Woohoo! Oh,
Color County. It's a coloring book that I designed.
awesome.
And
That's so cool.
inside are, places and flowers
No
from Door
way.
County.
Ah, that's
All-
really cool.
And it's all done. Oops. Which way? This way.
There you
I
go.
think that's Fish Creek and flowers. And all the photos are in the back. It's done photographically. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
with that.
the beauty up there is just fantastic. Every season is
Mhm.
just gorgeous. Get a lot of photographers up there and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, do you
No,
have any pals from Minnesota that visit you? Or that you continue to
pals
work with?
that visit me. Hmm.
Because you
My
were missing Minnesota, weren't you?
folks have visited me. Does that count?
Sure.
I don't think anybody else has, to be honest with you.
Aw,
But I've only been out here, 26, 27 years. So still
okay.
early. Still early.
Still early.
Maybe one of my friends will come out here. I don't think so. It's like an 8-hour drive. So
Yeah, it's not by any major metropolitan area. I mean, there's Green Bay, but that's like a plane jumper.
yeah.
Milwaukee's not a lot of close stuff. Again, they keep protecting how quaint it is.
Yeah. It is quaint.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, there's no chain stores north of Sturgeon Bay, which is nice. You got Wilson's and
Mm-hmm.
um,
A lot of mom and pops.
the White Gull Inn has like the best breakfasts. And,
Yes.
like, oh my goodness. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
The food's pretty great up there. And
yeah,
it's known for cherries, the cherry picking,
yeah.
cherry season and all that.
The only place in the Midwest that can grow cherries because we got water on both sides and extends the season just long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Cherries. So
Mm-hmm.
that's cool.
Yeah, that was my favorite bit. They're like, "We're in Wisconsin." I'm like, "The thumb." I'm like, the Door County is the whole thumb.
Yeah.
All this lights in the sky and everything. Well, yeah, when we had chatted before, we were talking about the comedy stuff. I know you've been in the entertainment field forever, as have I, and we just like entertaining people. But the creative juices of being an entertainer never go away. So you seem to always be like coming up with the commercials, which like we love the funny commercial. Like my favorite SNL commercial is Happy Fun Ball. Like may cause blindness, infertility. It's just a ball throwing, and then they do the disclosure. Like it's
Really?
it's a mock toy, but they list the 500 things that'll happen to you if you
Oh
use
my
it.
goodness. Yeah.
Those kind of fun ones. And so we'll have to maybe get some of those going.
Yeah.
See how I'm putting myself onto your work when I get over there?
Sure,
Like, we
yeah.
are collaborating.
Let's do some commercials. That would be great.
That'd be fun. You could have commercial breaks on Truth Quest.
Yeah.
When did you start Truth Quest then? When did
A little bit over a year ago, just about a year ago, I started. It was me basically with this background, and I had the monitor behind me was on, and it was like flashing images, and I don't think that's plugged in right now. So
okay.
but,
I didn't know it was less than a year. Well, that's a lot of content for 1 year. You have a lot of content on your page. It's a good resource, I think, for ufology community.
well, thank you. Yeah, I talk about things that interest me, and other people seem to be interested in it. So
that's awesome. Cool. What's going on in the background there? What's some of the stuff going on back there? So this used to be. Now you have like your inside
A spaceship, yeah. And this is my whole background. This is a children's book I illustrated called Popple and Popple's Place. We're endorsed by Jeff Foxworthy.
Cool. He's funny.
Yeah, let's see. Here's the two books. But yeah, it was a fun project. Here's Popple's Place and Popple.
Aw, that's really cool.
I think you can see the Jeff Foxworthy.
A seal of approval.
Yep. My kids and I love Popple. So, and in the back, there's the author, Judy Johnson.
Awesome.
And then there's me.
Woohoo!
The illustrator. And so they're very colorful.
Mm-hmm.
Disney actually donated the paper for these books because they help the children's hospitals.
Really?
Yeah.
They did something kind?
Yeah, the publishers in Stevens Point at Warzella, they're the ones that printed the books for us. We self-published. And they had just done a big run with Disney because they made a lot of Disney books. They had some leftover paper that they said, hey, you got some leftover paper. We got this job. It's charitable. What do you say? Then you won't have to pay, storage on this paper here. So they donated it.
That's cool.
Very great.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, and Jeff Foxworthy, oh my gosh. I don't know if I ever told you that story.
No, that's yes, please.
Okay, so we get done with the books, and we were actually dating at the time, me and the author.
Oh, I thought you and Jeff Foxworthy. I was like,
no, that could never happen. So when we get done with the books, it took me a year to illustrate both books, and when we were done, we wanted to celebrate. So we both like comedy, and we didn't like swearing so much. And Jeff Foxworthy is a very funny comedian, and he doesn't swear. So we thought he's coming into town, and not directly into town, but near Green Bay somewhere. And so we went. No. I think it was the Dells, possibly somewhere. We went to go see him, and in a setup for one of the jokes he was doing, he said, I was doing this gig for children's hospitals, and then this happened, and then it was a very funny story. And I said, did you hear that, Judy? He does work with the children's hospitals. Maybe he'll endorse our books. And she said, oh, we're just ordinary people. He would never do something. He would never talk to us. I said, well, we're all people. So I went over to the stage manager. It was after the first show, and he was getting ready for the second show. And I gave the stage manager my card, and I told him our story. He said, okay, I'll go check with him. He comes back. He says, you got 10 minutes for his next show. Go talk to him. So in the meantime, Judy had been writing a note inside the book, because she didn't think we'd get to see him. So she was writing a note. So we handed him the books and gave the story about how she was inspired to write this story to help the children's hospitals. And so he agreed to show it to his children, show the books to his children, and consider endorsing them. So we said thank you, and we left. It was a very small changing room. There was like a coffee table with his new shirt still on a hanger. He still had to put his shirt on, like a normal shirt. Yeah, nothing special. It's identical to the one he was wearing, but I think maybe a little bit of sweat or something. But so he agreed to show it to his kids, and so we came back. What was it? The weeks went by. A couple of months went by, and then Jay Leno came to the Untitled Bingo Casino in Green Bay. So we just went into like the entryway there where you enter the casino hotel. And there he was. He's very tall. He's got a very large chin. And he called me over. He said, hey, Elvis, come over here. I was wearing a black leather jacket and my hair was up. And so we got to talk to him, and we gave him a couple of books with a note inside to see if he would consider endorsing the books.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't hear anything from him. And then about a month later, Jeff Foxworthy was back this time in Appleton, which was closer. We thought, well, yeah, we haven't heard from him. It's been a couple of months, but maybe we'll just go there. We'll go backstage and we'll leave a book with a note in it as a friendly reminder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we go backstage, we get the okay to go backstage, and we're walking down this hall. And all of a sudden he comes walking down the hall towards us. Now he hasn't seen us in like 3 or 4 months. He says, "Oh, Aaron and Judy, I'm so sorry I didn't get back to you. I've been really, really busy." And I said, "That's okay. Leno hadn't gotten back to us either." He goes, "I'll beat Leno." About a week later, he sent us this beautiful quote.
Aww.
And let me just read it here. It says, he's the honorary chairman of Duke Children's Hospital, Jeff Foxworthy. "My kids and I love Popple. I thank Judith and Aaron not only for their beautiful creativity, but for their heart for sick children as well. God bless this project, Jeff Foxworthy."
Aww.
Isn't that sweet?
That's really cool. That's cool. Just taking the time to remember your names, remember the project. That's personable. That's nice.
I only met him twice. He hardly knew. I want to just show you also the place Warzella. I can't say enough about it because they use extra bright inks to match the files I sent them.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. I had to put a little. Now I was reading this to my granddaughter, and she goes, "Grandpa." I went, "Yeah, it's kind of me."
Aww.
What's funny is the author is in the book too, as a character.
That's awesome.
And that one, it's back here. Here she is.
And that's like, oh.
And then she jumps out of the hole. It's all written in verse. It's very, very cute. And so there's Fancy the Fox, and that's the author.
It's beautifully colored design.
Thank you. Yeah, and there's a little bug, like this little bug here, on every page or every spot. You got to find all the bugs. It's kind of fun. It's a great
fun.
Cool little books. Yeah.
How long have you been illustrating? It was like the art. So the arts in general have been your life, it sounds like. But when did you start illustrating and stuff? Did you go to school for it, or? Well,
I took college art classes when I was still in junior high. High school.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could drive. I was 16. So I started taking college classes art classes at a local community art college. And I took some classes also at Minneapolis College of Art and Design.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't go for a degree. I was offered that, but I toured the place with my folks, and I wanted to get an industrial design degree because I wanted to be a toy designer inventor. Mm-hmm. And an illustrator. I mean, there's so many things I wanted to do, too many to list.
All creative, I'm sure.
Yeah. But yeah. No, I just lost where I was. See, this is when.
What about the toys? What's some of your favorite toys you've created, or what's come to fruition?
What's come to fruition? The one I'm really proud of, I guess the couple I'm really proud of are the Super Cubes.
Oh, I saw your video with that. Yeah. The green screen one. That's cool. They bounce, right?
They bounce like crazy. I mean, it took me a year and a half to find this material. Wow. And it is the bounciest substance on the planet. And it's super bouncy. And they float in water. They're the best eraser you ever used. They're made in America. All my stuff is made in America. So the Super Cubes are fantastic. And my daughter just loves, my granddaughter loves them. My son and my daughter loved them when they were kids. Dogs love them. Cats love them.
Aw.
And yeah. And after the
Fun.
plan scam, demonic, the
The agenda.
yeah, the agenda-matic kind of wiped out all the little toy stores. So it's a very sad thing.
It
But-
is. Anything coming down the pike? I mean, I know I'm myself this year taught me to go like Etsy style or local. You know, it really drew attention to
Yeah.
the agenda and where our dollars can talk. So, any revivals of your toys or anything coming out?
Well, I had an Etsy shop for a while, but I couldn't
Oh, you did?
sell anything. But this
Oh,
is my game that I did. Oops, it's upside down. Tetragon 2.
oh, cool.
And so this is a game of, it's an abstract 2-player game.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is to be the first one to make 2 complete squares or tetragons out of your triangle wood pieces.
Ooh,
And it's
mind. Nice.
Yeah, and it's real hardwood, and the board is just like a normal board. Now, on the back, you might be interested because that picture in the center was taken at Gloss Coffee Shop. Just and those are 2 friends.
So every little aspect of that is you. You've created the box, the content on it, and the game.
Everything. And it went to the Mensa Mind Games event in 2013. So I was very
I'm
proud.
not surprised. That would be a very good Waldorf game because they're all about the wood, natural elements, and the brain teasers.
Yeah, and it's just a fun game, and it takes about a minute to learn, lifetime to master. But I tell you, I do demos. I used to do demos a lot up in Egg Harbor, Fish Creek, but I've been beaten by 3 or maybe 4 4 or 5-year-old girls who never played it. They never played it before. I'm like going, I'll just, I'll take it easy. And all of a sudden, what? I lost? Well, wait a minute here. I wasn't trying to be that, But yeah, some people just really just catch on to it. The movements are simple. There's no capturing, no jumping. So all the pieces stay on the board. And if there's excuse the French, just screw your neighbor element, where if you have 3 of, like, say you're the dark color, and the other person completes the tetragon with the lighter colored wood piece, that will like lock them all. You can't take them out. And what it does though is it causes the dark player, the player with the dark pieces, to not have enough pieces to make 2 complete tetragons. So it changes the whole scope of the game.
So you really have to be thinking ahead and strategizing and planning.
And 5 minutes a game, 5-10 minutes a game.
Okay. And 5-year-olds can play. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. So all ages.
All ages. And I tell you, I got a call from Joseph Haber from New Jersey the day after the event in 2013 at the Mensa Mind Games event, where they take, I think it was around 50. I think that year they had 53 or 54 games. They have to be brand new games on the market, less than a year, and a couple other criteria. But my game was requested by the judges. They knew about it, even though it was only available in like Door County and a couple other little teeny places. And so he called me up the day after. He said, "You know what? I just had to call you up today. Thank you, Aaron, for submitting Tetragon 2, because your game is truly a new and unique kind of abstract strategy game." He goes, "We just don't see that. 99% of what we see is like reworks of Rummy, or just repackaged or themed classic games." He goes, "Yours is really a truly a new and different, unique kind of a strategy game." So he goes, "It was like a breath of fresh air. So thank you for."
That's really cool.
Yeah. No.
It feels like, now, not to be Debbie Downer here, but it feels like, is this another one of those rounds that you just got so close, and then it's like, why didn't it like pop off? why isn't your name on every household name?
Well, I found out very quickly exactly how the guy who invented checkers felt.
Oh,
Because you have to teach the whole world how to play your game. It takes a while.
that's frustrating, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. And even though board games are a very popular item, they're selling like hotcakes. $3 stack with syrup. This particular kind of board game, an abstract strategy game, a 2-player abstract strategy game, like checkers or chess or Go or Pente. There's just not a lot of excitement. It's hard to break into that and to become an evergreen like a chess or a checkers. And you really have to, I did get a photo up with Jesse Ventura. I gave him one. I heard him talking at the Mall of America when I was doing a demo at Games by James upstairs. And I heard his voice and I knew who it was. I said, I'll be back. I grabbed one of my games and I gave it to him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I also gave one to then President Barack Obama.
Oh.
I was waving it by his head.
It?
I was waving it by his head. And the Secret Service guy goes, you can't do that. You can't wave a box by the president's head. I didn't know.
It was nice of you.
They took the game. They probably doused it. They probably dunked it in a barrel of water or something to make sure it's not a bomb or something.
Gosh.
It never would be. It's just a game. But you know what's interesting? I wanted to get one of my games to Barack Obama's kids, his possibly adopted daughters, and possibly.
Yeah, that's a whole other.
I called around and I found this game store very close to the White House, and I said, "Oh, have they ever been in there?" Nope, never have been in. Really? And they've been in office a while. I mean, wouldn't you go? I mean, I don't know. I would.
I guess, yeah. I don't know if they were playing much. They were playing a part, but I don't know if they were playing.
Playing a part, yeah. And now, I have to ask you or make a comment.
Sure.
And talk about you, because you've been tearing it up with all of these Starseed conferences, right? Now, how would you classify that?
Well, there's been one. Well, yeah, that particular one is Starseed Adventures. I think there's just a craving for people to gather, and because they're popping up all over. And I think there was that underlying, I don't want to use the word fear, but during the scam plan agenda days, people were like, I don't know if this will work, and what about restriction, all these things. I think this was the first one out of the box that was like, screw it, let's do it. And we're going to show up and let's just make it happen. And we made it happen under really weird times. And all that did was just light us up and give us more ammo to keep going. So it's kind of it's a good thing. And I'm glad that there's several more conferences popping up around. And conference is kind of a tricky term too, because they're trying to change it from conference of there's the people up here and the ticket buyers down here, and they just stay like that. We're trying to get everybody together. Like
that makes sense.
Yeah, let's bring the light beans together. Enough with the clickies and the, everybody has a story to tell, and everybody's got a community to waken up. So we're all on the same. We're all in this together. I'm going to take that tag back.
You really did hit on something there. We all have a story to tell. Everybody has a story to tell, and everybody's story is unique, and different, and important, because we're all important. And yes.
Very much so. That's why I've appreciated your platform. That's why I felt called to start doing my own little thing. I also had ants in my pants because craft service and being on set, you're just nonstop. So the agenda went down. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm a mom, but I was also like, people. I need to do things with people. So I just got a little chatty.
Well, I want to put in my endorsement to Heidi here as a speaker at one of these events.
Oh! What
He's
would I
got.
talk about?
What would you speak about?
I would like to be open and be like, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Like the audience warm up.
I think you would
I need
be.
to bring those back.
I don't think you'd have any problem thinking of what to say. I think you'd say very good things, and it would be people would leave going, "Wow, I can't wait till she does another one of these things."
Aw, bless you, Aaron. That's really sweet. There seems to be a hierarchy out there, and I don't know if you saw my feisty Scorpio post this morning, but I kind of had it up here with some clicks and things, and but the reality is just shine bright, truth wins. The light wins, truth wins always. It's just a very patient process, I guess. I don't know what steps or levels I would like to get at. I see level. It's not going to be level. I'd like the even playing field, but I love being around all these different types of people from all different walks of life, coming for the common goal of just lighting up. That's pretty fun. Yeah. So I used to, I had a 7-minute stand-up routine.
Yeah.
I was going to hit the open mics in my sketch comedy days. Yeah, it was a little foul. Like that's what you call the blue humor, though. It was a little blue.
Okay. All right.
But I was like, yeah, I loved that, just the making people laugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and you get an energy from a crowd. I mean, you really feel it. You can feel that energy, and that's what brings entertainers back to the stage all the time. That's why.
Totally. Yeah. It can be an addiction, and then, but it also can be very witchy. Like it's alchemized, and you're like, ooh, they're laughing. Now I'm gonna make it go up, and now I'm gonna make them go up. So you're like, they're under my spell.
Oh wow,
that's a little much. But there is that rise and fall of like just moving with the audience, and and that's why sometimes it's incredibly painful to watch open mics and things. You're like, oh, I was the best audience member though, like the best. I love IO, and I used to work at Improv Olympic and Second City, all these places. I just love the audience because I felt for the person up there so bad that I'd just be that one shout of laughter when it wasn't even that great, but I just wanted to be like, keep it going. Like, don't fall on your face. It's really interesting to see what happens to people in those situations. And it's hard, fun fact, that a lot of comedians are pretty sad. Like they're not in, they become comedians to get, like you said, get that feedback.
Get that rush.
Because they're missing it in their life. Yeah. So there's a.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. That's something to think about. Yeah.
So we should write some sketches.
Yeah. Yeah. Bring some joy.
You've had some joy. You've had some love today. Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Hi. She said, hi, troops. Oh, and Melanie. Thank you, Melanie. And Douglas and Julia. That was very kind. And Deb's in the house. I don't know. You can't see those, can you?
No.
Here, I would pull up like that. Like, here's Mr. Douglas.
Oh.
It was just his birthday. Happy
birthday.
We got all those peeps on there, but you know what I did figure out? I told you I'm kind of, look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to check out the show if you have not already on YouTube, which I'm sure they are. I think that's why they're coming to see this. They're like, Heidi has Aaron on?
Yeah. I love your show. I think, if you ever need a pick-me-up, go to Heidi's channel. And you don't even have to watch one of the videos. You can. I want everyone to watch all of them and like all of them and share all of them, because she is a real life, true to life Care Bear. She's had the DNA test. She is mostly Care Bear. And she cares about everybody, and she wants everybody to be happy. And you can just feel the happiness emanating off even just a picture of this wonderful woman here.
You're so sweet. You hit all the points that we discussed. Good job.
Oh, good.
See more of that, please. We need more shites and giggles. The people keep dividing, but honestly, I think the funnest, best way to bring everybody back together is that collective laugh.
Mm-hmm.
So the more we can generate that and do that, I think that's just, maybe that's what I can offer. I just know there's something I want to offer and help, and I don't know how it is or what it is, but your motivation and then jumping on your show and all these lit the fire under me to just keep going. Mm-hmm. Just keep going.
Well, I got to say, when I'm scrolling and I see something from you, I just smile and I listen to it. I like it. Sometimes I share it. I probably should share it all the time.
You've shared a lot. I appreciate that.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Well, then I can't imagine what will happen when we'll be in the same room.
Yeah.
We'll be like synapses, and then we can do this, and then we can do that, and then we can do this.
You know what else? We have been working for a while on these little guys. Love
bugs. Oh, how cute is that?
Yeah. And I got a little animation on my Facebook page, and I got a little, little love bug.
That's so sweet. Now, those are the bugs we need to get trending. We have not these surges of bed bugs.
Yeah.
They were trending for a while, but we need some love bugs.
Yes, we do.
And that's what I call my kids. They're my little love bugs.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it could be cool.
That could be very cool. That could be excellent. Well, we're finishing up our little hour here.
Okay.
And I was like trying to do my pre-pro meeting with myself. Of all right, and then I'm gonna be asking Aaron this, that, and the other. And I just was all I kept hearing was Heidi, just improv. You're talking to the real deal, just improv. So thank you for improving with me and for matchy. We have our matchy outfits.
How do we do that?
I love the ship behind you, though.
Oh,
your upper left, yeah.
That's what I
cool.
saw. I saw one just like that.
Wow.
There.
How did you feel when you saw it?
Ookie.
Like this? Ooh.
No, it felt like I wasn't supposed to see it. It felt like an accident, and they were trying to make me not see it. It was moving around, and it was trying to get out of my view. It felt like that, but it felt like I wasn't supposed to see it. And it had this ookie feeling. I can't really describe it. It was like strange feeling.
That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that. That's one question. I'm like, what is this? Well, I love the slow drip disclosure that's happening, but I do think the people need to unite. They need to stop dividing all over these manufacturers.
What's that? Oh my goodness! Look at that. A UFO right in our own midst.
Are those paper plates? Oh, it's flying. Yes.
No, it's alien paper plates. It's made out of real alien paper plates.
You just gave me my homeschool idea.
Isn't that fun?
That's great.
I got a little fishing line here thing for it.
How's it spinning though?
It's on a fishing line, and I got it on a wire. I got a metal.
So you just kind of spin it when you do it?
Yeah, I just go like this. Yeah.
Okay. I'm serious. We're gonna make some of those.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So I got 2 paper plates, normal size, glued together. A little one on the bottom and a little one on the top, and I put, those black tape.
That's awesome.
And I counted so they're all even, but when it's spinning, it looks pretty cool.
That's really cool. Oh, I love it. Always the inventor, always creative and creating. Thank you for sharing this hour with me. I guess this time we have to wrap it. So, you showed me that last time. I remember we did do some paper plates and planes and things. That goes far.
It does.
And the ridges, I think, have something to do with it too.
You made them yourself too?
Yeah, it was like the first time we talked, and then you sent me to the other YouTube channel with the games. The paper.
3 a.m. Studios. 3 a.m. Studios.
3 a.m. Studios. Why is it 3 a.m. Studios? Why did you say 3 a.m.?
Well, years ago when I was with my kids when they were little. I started a graphic arts company, and I was always up till 3 a.m. And our initials are AM. My daughter's Alicia Moriarity, my son's Aaron Moriarity, and I'm Aaron Moriarity. So we're the 3 AMs. That's why.
There you go. Just wanted everybody to know that. And from my teacher pals out there that I'm going to be sharing this with, good content and research that on that channel. Especially when everybody lately is like, what the heck am I going to do with my kids? Make things.
Yeah.
Create things. Well, cool. Well, I'm blessed and honored, and thank you. And like peeps can see, Truth Quest with Aaron Moriarity. And that's where they can find you, right? But you pop that up on Facebook too. Your Facebook, YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel, a Facebook channel.
Mm-hmm.
Truth Quest with Aaron Moriarity, and
Cool.
like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. And more importantly, like, share, and subscribe. Heidi here.
You're sweet. Both of us. High five. Oh, where are you?
I know.
Good job.
We did it.
Thank you so much, Aaron. I'll start wrapping it, and I'll share this all over the place, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving me your time and
You're very
sharing
welcome.
your awesomeness. Oh, there's one more little thing. I just want to make sure I say it before. Lisa. Oh, yeah, see, teacher. I knew it. Lisa just said, I'm going to put it on. Lisa is with LAUSD out here. So she's going to share it with her third graders. So, yay.
Get the kids to draw with their toes, too. Put the pens between their toes. They can draw with their feet. That's a fun one, too.
That's a fun one. Lisa's slaying LAUSD. She's bringing the light inside. I'm never leaving Cali, man. Not yet. I'll come visit you, but we're lighting this bad boy up.
Thank you so much.
And you have a wonderful rest of the week. I'm sure I'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you.
Toodles, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Open up your crown chakra.